Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So we are doing a pick a card reading and it is Barbie themed, and we're going to be talking about what makes you the most beautiful, especially things that maybe you can't really see, or maybe you're aware that those traits are there but you might take them for granted, right? Because we're living with ourselves every single day, right? We're living in our bodies every single day. So sometimes the beautiful things about us, we don't really take note of them because we're just like, oh, that's just how I am. It's just I'm naturally that way. So we don't understand how great we actually are, and sometimes we need a reminder. So I'm here to give you that reminder and to talk about just all the things that make you beautiful, the best things about you, and things of that sort. So I'm hoping that this reading will be a confidence boost for you. I'm hoping that it will help you to love yourself just a little bit more. And yeah, I'm really hoping that this will have a positive effect on your self-esteem. So let's go ahead and get into it. For those of you who are new to pick a card readings, basically you just look at the screen at the three cards and you use your intuition to choose whichever one you feel called towards. And then you go into the description box and you'll find the timestamps for each card. Click on the timestamp of whatever card that you chose, and then the messages will be there for you. And also, I did do extended videos as well, so the link to the extended will be in the description box. And for those of you who are, like I said, new to the channel, extended videos are basically just more in-depth videos, because a lot of times people will, they'll listen to the reading and they'll want, even more messages. So the extended videos are for that purpose, and the link to those will be in the description as well. So let's go ahead and get into it. Go ahead and pause the screen if you need to. Take a second to meditate. Take a quick breather in order to clear your mind so that your intuition can lead you towards, whichever card resonates with you. Okay, group number one, let's look at the most beautiful things about you that even you probably sometimes cannot see. So the first card that I pulled is the Queen of Wands, and then followed up by the Justice card. So with the Queen of Wands being here, I feel like you're someone who is very optimistic. Like during times where you feel like you're being knocked down, or when things are just not going well, there's still like this little voice inside of you that tells you to get up, to keep on going, and that things are going to get better regardless. There could be times where you felt completely like giving up, and there's still that little piece of you that's like, no, you can overcome this. Just keep on going, keep on fighting. Things are going to turn around, things are going to get better. So that definitely is a beautiful energy. I also do feel like you encourage other people in that way too. So when you see other people who are down and out, you are the one who can give them like a pep talk, telling them, no, it's going to get better. Don't worry. Like, I understand what you're going through, but trust me, it's going to get better. And the thing about that, what I'm picking up is that you do it in a way that doesn't make people feel dismissed, right? Because sometimes when people are down and out and they come to somebody for help and the person is like, oh, it'll get better, everything's going to be fine. Like, that can come off as kind of, dismissive, but you don't come off that way. It's like you come off in a way that's very empathetic. Like, you understand exactly what they're going through, and you're validating how they're feeling, while at the same time helping them to feel empowered to pick themselves back up and to keep on going. So it is a very beautiful energy. And because this is something that you possess naturally, sometimes you don't even see how beautiful that really is. And that's my point of doing this tarot reading, is that the things within us that we live with every day, we can sometimes overlook them, like, oh, that's just the way that I am. But we have to stop and really understand how great these traits actually are, because you really are like a light and a blessing to a lot of people that you come across, and you don't even really realize it at times. So what I'm also getting with this Queen of Wands card is that you're someone who people definitely look up to. Like, there's something about you or something about your story that people look to, and they get strength from it. Like, even if you don't directly speak to them or you don't directly know them, if they hear your story or they come across you, like, it's something about you that makes them feel like, you know what, if that person can do it, then I can do it too. There's like a lot of inspirational energy that I'm getting from this card. Like, you inspire people to keep going on their path, especially when they're feeling kind of down and out. I also feel like some of you could be very creative as well. The Queen of Wands card can sometimes talk about creativity. So if you are a creative person, and let's say that you put like, you know, your talents online, I feel like that in itself is very inspirational and motivational to people as well. Even people that you don't even know, is what I'm seeing here, especially if you're an artist. Like I'm getting very heavy artistic energy from this, and especially if you're an artist and you put your work out online, people are very much inspired by that, especially people who potentially are artists as well, and maybe they're not as brave to put themselves out there. It's like looking at you put yourself out there is helpful to them and gives them like a boost of confidence. Now, I will say this, for some of you, you're probably hearing these messages like, this doesn't apply to me, or like, I'm not like that. Well, if that's the case, then that means that these things that I'm saying, they're present within you. You just haven't tapped into them yet, right? So maybe you are an artist, or maybe you are someone who's creative and you've been wanting to put yourself out there online, but you haven't. This card or these messages could be saying that it's time to do that, because it will be very motivational and inspirational to other people as well. So everything that I'm saying here, if you feel like it doesn't resonate with you, then it's because these things are inside of you, but you have to tap into them. Like they're like untapped or unlocked potential is what I'm seeing. I am also seeing that you are a very kind and very compassionate person, especially to people who are in a more vulnerable position. Like when you see someone who is struggling, or you see someone who is vulnerable, you are there to help them. And you would be surprised at how many people are not like that. Some people see vulnerable people and their first instinct is to exploit them, to take advantage of them, to manipulate them, and you are the direct opposite of that, you know? So when you see someone who's in like a vulnerable or weaker position than you, your first instinct is to like help them and protect them and things of that sort. So that goes for like, you know, children, you know, because children are very vulnerable. You know, you would never think of hurting a child or exploiting a child and things of that sort, right? Because they're just innocent and they're vulnerable. So you're there to protect them and help them, unlike other people in the world who I can't wrap my mind around, people who behave that way. But anyway, yeah, you're there for people who are more vulnerable, but not just not just people, like not just humans, but also just all living creatures. Like I'm seeing you being very compassionate towards like animals, because once again, that's a very vulnerable group, right? So you being more compassionate towards animals, even being compassionate towards people who, like, they're in certain job positions, like for example, like waiters, waitresses, janitors, and things of that sort, while other people could be very disrespectful towards them because, you know, some people are just very judgmental when it comes to your job position. Some people look down on other people because, oh, they don't have a well-paying job, or they don't have a high-ranking job. But you're like the opposite of that. Like, you are even nicer to those people. You're even nicer to the waitresses, the waiters, the janitors, and things of that sort. Like, you give them the utmost respect that they deserve. So yeah, these are very, very beautiful traits that you have. And like I said, it can be easy to overlook those traits sometimes because you live with them so much, but also it could be easy to overlook them at times because the rest of the world sometimes can feel like it's the opposite, right? Like, I see people on social media all the time saying, you know, I'm such a good person and it seems like it gets me nowhere. And that's because in this world that we live in society, it's like people are almost applauded for being the opposite of good, right? They're applauded for being cold. They're applauded for being like selfish and things of that sort. And so sometimes you could look at these traits in yourself and you could think that they're not that valuable because the rest of society is behaving in an opposite way. But I'm here to tell you right now, these traits are very valuable and you're a valuable person to those around you. And if more people were like you in the world, this world will be a much better place. So please applaud yourself and recognize those things within yourself as positive. Also, we pulled the Justice card. So I feel like with the Justice card being here, that goes along with what I was saying about the Queen of Wands, how you're just someone who really likes to treat people fairly. Like, no matter how, no matter what position they're in. I mean, you want them to be treated equally. You want them to be treated fairly. You don't believe in a human being above another human being based off of external things like money or the way they look and things of that sort. You believe that all humans have, an equal amount of value. So that is beautiful, within itself. I also just feel like you're someone who's very big on justice. When you see somebody being treated unfairly or you see something that's not fair, you're going to be the one to speak up and say, absolutely not. Like, I'm not going to stand for this. You're not going to do this while you're around me, just someone who really likes to stand up for people. You could have been like that person in high school who, if you saw people getting bullied, you would be the one to speak up and say something, or it would just really disturb you to see a bunch of people ganging up on one person. So just very, very big on justice, very big on equality, and just treating people with the dignity and the respect that they deserve. And you could have been someone who, like, throughout your life, you didn't get treated fairly, so you know exactly how it feels to be like dehumanized and to be treated as less than. So you never want to see anyone else in that position. You never want to see any living creature in that position, whether it be humans, animals. You just don't like to see it. So you're just always trying to treat everyone with that kindness and with that fairness. And also, I just feel like you're someone who just like things to be balanced. You feel imbalanced when you see people getting away with injustice, when you see people getting away with doing wrong. It just kind of disturbs you and it throws you off balance. So if you can find a way to restore justice, you will. If you can find a way to speak up and help people, you will. So that is definitely something very beautiful. I feel like that in itself makes you like a great friend to have, a loyal friend to have. You're always going to be the one that's there for your friends, especially when they're in like darker periods of their life, because like I said, you are really big on restoring balance and really wanting people to feel good about themselves. So when you have a friend that is not feeling good about themselves or they're going through something tough, you are there. You're like the person that's there to restore balance, to help lift them back up, to help speak life back into them until they're feeling good again. So again, these are very, very beautiful traits to have. I also feel like with this justice card, I don't usually get this message with this card, but intuitively what I'm hearing is that you're also someone who's very stylish. Like, you could be someone who's very big into like aesthetics. You're very big into making things look beautiful, whether it be like home decor, whether it be like your outfits. Maybe you are really good at like doing your hair and things of that sort. It's like you really appreciate aesthetics and beauty, and it's not in a bad way. It's not in like a superficial way, quote unquote. It's just another example of how you're a beautiful person on the inside, so you appreciate beauty outwardly as well. It's like you like your outsides to match the beauty that's going on within. And also, things that are aesthetically pleasing, they boost your mood and they raise your vibration. So that is just another way of showing how you really appreciate uplifting people or uplifting the mood, uplifting the vibe in the room, right? By you can express that through the aesthetics around you. Like I said, the way that you dress, possibly home decor. You just have an eye for things that are beautiful. And like I said, it's not in a superficial way. It's not bad. So don't let anybody convince you that that's bad, because it's definitely not. It's just another way of appreciating the beauty in the world and another way of raising your vibration and feeling energetically uplifted. So that's what I'm seeing for you guys. That's what makes you beautiful, that you could be overlooking. And again, if any of these things you hear, you're like, I don't know if that's me. It's because that is part of you that is untapped potential. So you can tap into any of these traits that I have, and it's going to resonate with you. These are things that are part of your authentic self that you probably just haven't unlocked just yet. So that is it. In the extended video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you messages about how you can use these traits that I just listed to bring abundance into your life. So whether you want to attract love into your life or you want to attract more money into your life, basically in the extended, we're going to talk about how you can take these traits and do just that, how to attract that abundance using, everything that I just listed. So the link to the extended will be in the description box down below. Thank you again for watching group number 1, and I will see you guys over on the extended video. Bye. Okay, group number 2. So let's look at the things that make you the most beautiful. So the first card that I pulled is the 6 of Cups. So I feel like you're someone who is definitely very in tune with your inner child still. You have this childlike innocence to you still, like this childlike wonder about you. And that in itself is very beautiful, because a lot of people really lose touch with their inner child as they, as they grow older. And I feel like you have managed to, stay in tune with your inner child. So I feel like people really enjoy that about you. Like you could be someone who brings other people's inner child out. Like if there's someone who is a bit too serious, or like I said, they have disconnected from their own inner child, it's something about you that helps them to tap back into that energy, even without you trying. I know that the example that my guides are giving me right now is from this one rapper, and he was talking about how the thing that he loves most about one of his friends is that his friend brings his inner child out. Because, as a rapper, he has to put on like this very tough persona, and that in itself can kind of disconnect you from your inner child. And he said his friend is the type of person that will go to like the mall and buy like those what do they call, like those Star Wars lightsabers, like the little swords that they use on Star Wars. He said his friend will like buy those, and then they'll have like a sword fight with the lightsabers. And he was saying he really appreciates that about his friend. So that's the energy that I'm getting, is like you just have this ability to bring out people's inner child, especially when they need that playful energy the most. I also feel like with this Six of Cups card, you're able to really see the beauty in things. Like even very tough situations that you've been through, I feel like you're able to really look back on them and to see something good in them, or you're able to find the good in it or turn it into something good. Like it could be a situation that other people will look at it like, oh my God, there's nothing good about this. Like this is horrible, but you are able to somehow see things from a higher perspective. And even if you can't find the good in it, like even if you can't twist it to be good, because, there's some situations that it's straight up not good, right? So even if you can't see the good, you're able to kind of tell yourself, well, I'm going to turn this into something good. Like, for example, I've experienced childhood trauma, so I'm going to turn that into something good by helping other people who've experienced it. That's kind of the energy that I'm getting from you. You're able to really see the silver lining, or if there's no silver lining to be found, you're able to create the silver lining. So that is definitely beautiful energy. I also feel like you're someone who's very kind to children. Like the childlike energy that I'm getting in this card, it feels like actual children, that you're very kind to them, very loving to them, and most importantly, very respectful to them, because you would be surprised at how many people they're very disrespectful to children. Like they see like children as like almost like subhumans. It's really disturbing when I see the way that some people look at children. They feel like children are not worthy of that kindness and that respect, which is, it's so backwards because children are so young and so innocent. But anyway, that's a result of a lot of people being disconnected from their own inner child, so they mistreat children. But for you, like I said, I feel like because you're still connected to your inner child, you're just very loving, compassionate, and very respectful towards children. You could even be like an advocate for children, possibly. Like maybe some of you are like a social worker, a child psychologist, or you do some type of like humanitarian work when it comes to children. And if you're not doing that, then I feel like that's something that you could be thinking about doing, like in the future, like starting something like a nonprofit or something in order to help children. Because it's like, what I'm getting is like you looking around and seeing on this planet how much children are very oppressed and how badly they're treated, and you're like, no, I have to do something about this. For some of you, you could be parents, or you could want to be a parent, and you could have the intention of, gentle parenting your kids, or you have the intention of breaking those cycles of child abuse or child mistreatment. You could have been through that yourself as a child, and you're going to be the one that stops all of that. Like you're going to be the one that treats your child with the love and the kindness that you deserved, that you probably didn't get. So definitely like some generational curse breakers in this group for sure. I'm also seeing here with the Strength card that some of you've been through a lot of difficult trials and tribulations, which kind of came up in the Six of Cups card as well. So you've been through some difficult things, and you still managed to get up and keep on going. And this message sounds kind of similar to pile one. So if you feel called to watch pile one, I would watch that one as well, because there's some sort of similar energy that's coming through. But yeah, with the Strength card being here, I feel like you have gone through a lot, and you're able to somehow get up and just keep on going. But not even just that, you're able to get up and keep going and keep your heart open at the same time. Because there's a lot of people who have been through hardships, they've been through hard times, and they'll get up and keep going, but their heart will be completely cut off, you know, to the point where now they're just a very cold person, and now they could be inflicting the same pain on other people that was inflicted on them. But I feel like with you, you're trying your best to be the opposite of that. Like, you're trying your best to keep your heart open. You're trying your best to still be a kind person, to still be a loving person, and to be the opposite of the way that you were treated. And that takes a lot of strength, a lot of strength. Like I was saying, for the other pile, I was telling them that these traits that you have, because you live with them every day, you don't understand how miraculous and how amazing these traits actually are. Because when we're living with something every single day within us, we don't see how great it is, right? Because it's just like, oh, that's just a part of us, I'm just used to it. But no, like, the ability to really get up and maintain your kindness and still have an open heart after everything that you've been through, it's like a miracle. And that's something that, you know, you definitely should acknowledge within yourself, you know? So that's what I'm seeing for you. I'm trying to see if anything else is coming through here. I feel like some of you are also very creative. Yeah, this is very similar. Wow, this is very similar to pile number one. Again, if you feel called to watch pile one, watch that one too. But yeah, I'm seeing here that you are very creative, and creativity can show up in so many different ways. It could be literally like you're an artist of some sort. You do music, or, you know, painting, graphic design. It can even be like hair, makeup, and you express yourself creatively through fashion. It's something here about you being creative. Some of you could be like writers. But you know what? Even you sitting down and deciding what type of life you want for yourself, and actually like taking the steps towards building that life, that in itself makes you a creative person. That makes you a creator, right? Like, creativity doesn't have to be the traditional, like in the traditional sense that everybody thinks. You sitting down and molding your life, that in itself, you know, makes you a creative person. So you could be someone who, you know, you are very intentional, or you're just someone who you're like, you know what, I want to live the best life possible for myself. So I'm going to sit down, plan it out, and, you know, try to create that for myself. I want to overcome my past trauma, or I want to heal from the things that I've been through and create a beautiful life for myself. That in itself makes you a creator, or makes you creative. So that's something beautiful that I'm definitely seeing in these cards. I also feel like you have, I'm seeing in the cards that you could have like an appreciation for nature, or like an appreciation for the earth, right? And, you know, some people on this earth, some humans, they don't really have an appreciation for nature, or like the earth, the planet Earth. They see it as something to, well, okay, I'm not going to say everyone is like this, but there are a lot of people that are like this. Like, they see the earth as something to like exploit, or they don't mind like littering. They don't mind like just doing certain things to mess the planet up, right? We're not going to get too much into it because I'm going to be ranting, but they don't mind that. But I feel like for you, you see the earth and have like an appreciation for it. There's something here about there being a connection to nature with you. And that makes sense, because people who have like a more of an open heart and have that empathy and that kindness, they do tend to have a connection with Mother Nature as well. They see themselves as living in harmony with nature, rather than living above it and seeing it as something that can be exploited. You see what I'm saying? Some of you could be very big on like, what's it called? Like humanitarianism, when you are like the people who are advocating for the planet, who join like the groups to like save the ocean, to clean up the ocean and things of that sort. I forget what the name of it is. Whenever I am channeling messages, I just completely forget English. As soon as I turn this recording off, I bet you I completely remember the name. But I think y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, one of those people who are like advocates for the earth, or for nature, things of that sort. Like, there's some sort of connection with nature strongly that I'm feeling. For some of you, that's going to resonate. For others of you, maybe not. But yeah, I'm seeing that some of you, like, even if you're from like a big city or something, you still take time to go into the park, to put your feet in the grass, and like to really connect with the earth, and to really like just appreciate the beauty of the earth is what I'm seeing for you. I'm gonna pull one more because I feel like there's something else that's trying to come through here. The Page of Pentacles. Okay, so yeah, one other thing that I'm seeing here is that you're also someone who has a very good balance between this earthly plane and then the spiritual plane, right? Because when some people are too connected to the material world, they can become kind of cold. Like they can disconnect from their heart because they're so focused on surviving in the material world. Like, for example, like the people who want to become really rich, right? And so in order to, you know, make that type of money, they have no problem with exploiting other people. Like they have no problem exploiting their workers, underpaying their workers, and things of that sort. That's what I mean by people who are just really engrossed in the material world to the point where they're willing to do like diabolical things to get ahead. But then there are the people who are too immersed in the spiritual sense to where they're completely neglecting their human experience and they're neglecting the material world. So I feel like you have a balance of both. It's like you're connected to spirit, you're connected to material, you're someone who like you plan to build a happy, comfortable life for yourself in the material world, but at the same time, you're connected to the spiritual world. So you still have, you know, those spiritual values within you where you won't exploit people to get ahead. You know that money is not the most important thing on the earth. Like there's a balance that I see within you, and it's going to make it so that this experience that you have as a human will be very fulfilling, but you won't lose yourself in like the material world or like in these earthly matters, which is definitely beautiful. So that's what I'm seeing for you, group number 2. So in the extended video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically show you how you can use these traits that I just listed to become more magnetic and to attract abundance into your life. So whether you want to attract love or you want to attract, you know, income, like more finances, you want to attract like your dream career, you want to attract like your soul tribe, friends, whatever abundance means to you, I'm basically going to teach you how you can use all of the traits that I just listed within you to be more magnetic and to attract those things directly into your life. So the link to the extended will be in the description box down below. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you over on the extended video. Bye. Okay, group number 3. So let's look at all the things that make you beautiful. So we have the 4 of Wands here coming out first. So I feel like a lot of you are really into family or home. Like you have a appreciation for like the family unit, for keeping the family together and just having like a healthy, wholesome family. You have like an appreciation for that. Even if you didn't come from that yourself, I feel like a lot of you are determined to create that. Like you haven't lost the value of family and connection, even if you might have come from a family that was a bit more dysfunctional or you've had bad experiences. It's like you're still holding on to hope that you can have, you know, a family of your own, even if it's a chosen family, like a family that's comprised of like your soul tribe or your friends that you meet later on in life. So that's definitely beautiful energy. I also feel like you're someone who you're very good at turning a house into a home. Like there's something about you that if a house feels very, what's the word, sterile, I guess. Like, you know how there's some houses that just feel like they're not lived in? You have this ability to come into a house like that and to turn it into a home. It's like something about your energy that's very home, not homely, because I think homely has a negative connotation to it, but there's something about your energy that's just nurturing. There we go. That's the word. It's very nurturing because that's what turns a house into a home. It's like that feeling of nurturing, right? So you are a very nurturing person and you bring that energy with you. So you have the ability to bring home wherever it is that you are. And that is an amazing trait to have. Don't ever underestimate this trait or sleep on this trait. Like if there have been people around you who haven't appreciated this in you, there's something wrong with them. No, seriously, because there's so many people who would love to have somebody with your energy around. Like, you know how hard it is to find a home? Like some people really are having a hard time finding that feeling of home on this earth, because this home, I mean, this earth can be so
cold, right? Like, well, not the earth, but the people on it, I should say, because like out in nature, it's very warming, comforting. But the people on this planet and the way that society is programmed, it's very hard sometimes to find that feeling of home. You'll see people all the time saying, I just don't feel like I have a home here. So the fact that you carry that energy with you and you have the ability to make people feel that way, that's an amazing trait to have. And again, if there are people around you who didn't appreciate this trait, that's their problem. There's something within them, and they don't deserve to be around you whatsoever, because there's so many people who would greatly appreciate this trait. I also feel like there's something here in this card about you being very, like, a very gentle person. You just being very, like, soft for the right people, of course. I feel like for some of you, you're someone who, if somebody tries you or someone is disrespectful to you, you can defend yourself, right? Like, you can definitely put that guard up and defend yourself when need be. But I feel like for, like, when you're not in those situations, like when you're in like a comfortable environment, safe environment, you just have like this gentleness and this softness to you, right? When someone comes to you for help, or like, let's say they come to you for advice, you're not going to be the one to dish out like unnecessary tough love. But you know how some people, you come to them for advice and they just, they for some reason feel like they have to be harsh about what they're saying to you. Or even if you don't come to them for advice, they could just offer their advice and they say it in such a harsh way. And some people are like, well, that's just how I am, it's just tough love. And it's just like, no, it's not always necessary. And a lot of the times it's from a lack of empathy and a lack of emotional intelligence. But I feel like you're the opposite of that. Like, I feel like you have the ability to give people advice, you have the ability to tell people the truth, but then you say it in a very gentle way. Like, you're not sugarcoating it, you're not trying to beat around the bush and avoid telling them the truth, but you just have this way of giving a truth with love, like you have this way of having love within the truth that you speak, and that in itself is extremely, extremely beautiful. I also do feel like you're someone who celebrates people. When someone is having when someone is experiencing something good in their life, you're someone that they can actually come to and say, hey, I just got this promotion, or I just met this amazing person and we're dating. And you're the one you're never gonna like pop their balloon. Like, you're never going to rain on their parade, you're never gonna let the wind out of their sails. Like, you're the one that's going to make them even more excited about what they have going on. You might celebrate it even more than they do at first, like they might downplay something that they achieved, and you're the one that's like, no, this is amazing, and like you're hyping it up and making them even more excited about it, right? So that in itself is beautiful, because there are some people who aren't that way. There's some people who it's just in them to just rain on someone's parade. You come to them like, I got this good news, and they'll go and list every negative thing that can possibly happen, right? So you're not like that. Like, you're the one that's going to, like I said, celebrate them, encourage them, hype them up, and things of that sort. Let me see, what else am I seeing in this card? I think that's it for the Four of Wands. I also pulled the Emperor card as well. So this makes sense that this card came out, because remember I was saying that I feel like you're the type of person that when it's time to defend yourself, you can defend yourself for sure. With the Emperor card being here, like, you know how to put those boundaries up. Even if it's something that you sometimes struggle with, or maybe you have struggled with that in the past, I feel like you're getting better and better at just putting those boundaries up, being able to, keep people out of your life that are not good for you, or that are not appreciative of you, or that are causing harm to you in some way. You're getting very good at defending yourself, or like I said, putting those boundaries up in order to protect your peace. I also do feel like you're someone who, if you have an idea, or you have something like in your mind that you want to accomplish, this Emperor energy says that you're someone who is going to get it done, one way or another. Even if it takes you a while, you're going to find a way to get it done, and you're not going to let up. And I said this in one of the other groups as well, but I have to give this reminder here too. If you're hearing me talk about these traits and you're like, I don't know if I'm really like that, or I don't know if like I really resonate with that, just know that these could be traits within you that you need to tap into, because they're in you. You just haven't unlocked them just yet. So for example, like I just said, you're someone who, if you want to get something done, you go ahead and get it done. You could be thinking to yourself, eh, not really. Like sometimes I want to do things and I procrastinate, or I want to do things and I'm not disciplined enough. Well, this card is basically saying that that potential is in you. That potential to be disciplined and go after the things that you want, it's there. You just have to unlock it. You have to tap into it, but it's definitely there beneath the surface. It definitely is a part of who you are. You just haven't unleashed it yet, pretty much. Also, with this Emperor card being here, I feel like a lot of you are extremely wise. Like you are very you're very knowledgeable. It's like you've been through a lot, and because of your life experiences, you just have a lot of wisdom. And that's why I was getting like this energy of people coming to you for advice. I feel like you just know a lot because of the things that you've been through, and you could have really studied yourself a lot. Like you don't just go through things and then just keep it moving. I feel like you actually stop and reflect on the things that you've been through, you know. And so by you self-reflecting so much, it made you a very wise person. And that's why, you know, people can really learn from you, you know, based off of your own life experiences and the knowledge that you've obtained from it. I also do feel like in general, you're just someone who really likes to learn. Like I'm hearing a student of life, which again, that in itself, you know, could make it so that people could really learn from you. You're like a well of knowledge. I'm hearing like you're almost like a walking library of like knowledge and wisdom, just ready to give that out to people. And again, like I mentioned before, even though you have all this knowledge and all this wisdom, you don't give it in like an arrogant way or like a tough way. You know, you give it in a way that's still very empathetic and very compassionate. So there's a very good balance between the two of those things. I also do feel like you're very protective. You could be very protective, especially of like your friends and your family. Like you're not going to ever let anybody disrespect them. You're not going to let anybody violate them. Like you're always going to be there to protect them. You are someone who not only wants to protect people physically, but it's like you protect them mentally and emotionally. Like when you love someone or you have a connection with someone, you're not going to do anything that's going to like destroy their mental health. Like when you have a partner that you love, you're not going to do anything sneaky behind their back so that when they find out their mental health is destroyed. You know, like you're protective in that sense where you protect them from outside things, but you also protect them by being a loyal stand-up person and not doing anything that's going to hurt them. And even if you do accidentally do something that hurts them, you know, you're able to really apologize and make things right. Like you're never dismissive of people, even if you do mess up, because, you know, we're all humans and we all mess up. That's what I'm saying. She's like a very loyal, very compassionate, very considerate, respectful type of energy. So this is definitely beautiful energy here. And like I mentioned in the other groups, these things within you, it's so easy to overlook them because you live with them every day. But having someone in your life who's like protective of you, and you know you never have to worry about them hurting you behind their back, behind your back, that's very valuable. So you're a very valuable person, a very valuable friend, partner, and things of that sort. Like you're valuable to have in someone's life, definitely. I also do feel like you're a very passionate person. I'm getting a lot of fire from this. Like when you're into something, you're really into it, right? So you have like a lot of passion, and I'm not even talking about just towards people. I feel like you are passionate about like the people that you love, of course, which is always a good trait. But I think in general, like whenever you're into something or you're interested in something, you just have this passion about you. And I'm feeling like that can be very inspirational to people. You know, when people see you passionate about something, it makes them want to go and explore their own passions, or it makes them really interested in like what you're talking about. Like, okay, for example, I'm just going to give an example from my own life. Years ago, maybe like in 2015, I was very depressed because I had just got diagnosed with a chronic illness. I was, you know, on bed rest. I couldn't work. I couldn't go to school. So it was bad. And I started watching YouTube a lot, and I came across Jaclyn Hill, who was really, really big in the beauty community back then. And she had this passion for makeup. Like she loved makeup. You could tell it was like exuding out of her how much she loved it. And that passion was almost contagious to the point where I started doing makeup as well. And I fell in love with doing makeup. And then I climbed out of my depression from my love of makeup. You see what I'm saying? You see how your passion can really spark passion in other people, and it can help them out of a dark place. So that in itself is a great trait to have, you know, as well, that you might not even realize could really benefit other people. So that's what I'm seeing for you, group 2. I think that's all the messages that are coming through. Thank you so much for listening. Now, in the extended video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the traits that I just listed from you, and I'm going to teach you how to use these traits to be more magnetic and to attract abundance into your life. So abundance can mean a lot of different things, right? Abundance can be, you know, a loving partner. Like maybe you want to attract a loving partner or a loving relationship into your life. Maybe you want to attract, you know, more friends into your life, more like loyal, dependable friends. Or maybe you want to attract more money into your life, right? I feel like we all could use more money for sure. For sure. So whatever abundance means to you, in the extended, we'll be learning, or I'll be teaching you about how you can use these traits that are naturally already in you to bring that abundance directly into your life. So the link to the extended will be in the description box down below. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys over in the extended. Bye.